Right, let's try again. Just do a quick check. A little power challenge. Anything there? Power challenge. Right, here we go. Right, sorry about that. Join me, sit down for a second, you join me on the River Thames for my next club match. I'm fishing a section called Culham Reach. I was actually here a couple of weeks ago in what's classified as the woods. I was a couple of pegs down the river, just 2 pegs down, and I'm a little bit more upstream today. And it looks like it might rain again. So I might end up with another video of me in the rain. We've got about 7 minutes, which is good because I haven't done my ground bait, and I need to get sorted out. So excuse me a second while I just get this done. I've got cables everywhere today. I've just had a battery pack fail on me, so I will hopefully not disconnect. Right, let's try and count that out again. I'll just get these balls of ground bait made up and then I'll go through my rigs. Right, for 10 balls of ground bait, usual mix, I want about 200mm caster. I've forgotten my dead maggot. And about 200mm hemp. And I've forgotten my dead maggot today, so I have to have a little think about that. I think what I'll do is I'll make 6 balls and then I'll make some more balls up with some maggot on in and then put it straight in. So I'm going to put 4 on the long line, 3 on the short line, and I'll do 2 more on the long line to make 6 and 1 more on the short line. That's what I'll do. God, how can you forget your dead maggot? As per a couple of weeks ago, there's no flow on the river. We've had a little bit of rain, but nothing to make a difference. So I expect it's going to be quite hard today. Maybe £4 will be a great weight. A couple of roach, a few perch, maybe some little chublets. I think that's what I'm in for. And then maybe I sit out a little bit longer for a bream, I don't know. But now those are done, I'll just go over the rigs. Pretty similar to 2 weeks ago if you were here. I've got I've got a whip with me. This is a different one. This is a 4 metre whip, slightly longer, It's shallow, this peg. I don't know if you can see. You can see cabbages under the water there and all sorts. So it's quite shallow, then it drops off. So I'm fishing a bigger whip today. I've got a Dave Harold 20.4 gram, just down to a little bulker number 8. Bulker number 8, and I've got a B3050, I think it is, a bleak hook. I've got 2 pole rigs made up. I've got one on blue hydro and one on pink hydro. Blues for bream and pinks for roach. Both AS7s, 1.5 grams on 013 down to an 09. This is size 18, so I think it's going to be hard for roach. And then the bream rig. And then finally I've got a feeder rod made up. I've got a big 50 gram feeder. I just want to I just want to clip it out to start with. I'm going to put a load of bait in on the feeder line. It's really tricky with the trees over my head, so it might be a bit of a disaster, but I had a practice cast with a bomb on it. It was alright, so fingers crossed we'll be alright. Morning, Neil. Oh dear. Right, so nearly ready. Match starts in 4 minutes. What did I say I was going to do? Where have I put that? Pole cup. So I'm going to feed the pole line. No, I'm going to do the feeder first, actually, just because it's going to cause a big disturbance in the peg. Right, chuck it first. Right, all my practice casts were good, and then when I've cast for real, I've hit the tree. This could be fun. Right, I'm going to put a bit of hemp, a bit of caster, and a bit of pellets. A bit of pellets and some pellets. Just a mixture of 1 mil, 2 mils and 3 mils. I'm just going to put that in. Once these paddle boarders have gone past. This will come out. I might catch a bream out there. I don't really think so. I think at this time of the year the bream are further down the river, and what I need is it to have a flow on it to catch a load of roach up this end, but it's the wrong time of year and there's no flow, so I think it's going to be hard like it was a couple of weeks ago. Hey? Okay, around that way, because I can't lift the other one as well. No worries. crack the feeder off. Just put that down, shall we? What a start. Right, come on Graham, sort your life out. As I would say. It's all live, isn't it? Let's just make a couple of balls, some live maggots or pinkies in them, and ship them straight out. If you don't do it straight away, obviously the maggots crawl their way out of the ball, the ground bait, so and then cause it to break up. So they'll be pretty quick. Right, and put the short balls. I think this is on the top stick. It's the same depth. Is it 13 metres? So just like last week, I'm going to fish two lines, short line and a long line. Start on the long line. Sort of have the short line as backup. more ball there with some maggots, I think. Right, look at the water. It is super sticky, that mix. Right, I'll sort that feeder out later, I reckon. Just stay away from it for a minute. Right, let's start. Double maggot on this 13 metre line, I think. Ooh, that felt like a bit of a struggle, that did. Interesting. The bite or the rig's the wrong way. I suspect that's some bleak. The wind is really tricky. Not the wind. Yeah, bleak have attacked that. So maybe it's going to start the same as last week. Bleak to start. I think what they're doing is they're eating the... Slightly frustrating with the wind. I think what's going to happen is it's going to make that rig just stop. It's a 1.5 gram rig. Well, we'd like to catch a fish. Here's the first bleak of the day. How you doing, Anthony? I can't read what you've typed. Hold on. Oh, right. Is that the perfect combo? Fishing on the Thames and some F1. So yeah, let's just see if it plays out exactly like 2 weeks ago then. A few bleak to start, and then once the rig sort of survives getting through the layer of bleak, then there's some little chublets and some chub below, and or some perch, and do end up fishing chop worm making some work and some chub. I have a horrible feeling I just heard my number 13 crack then. Just double mag it. If it doesn't make it again, if it's another bleak, then I will switch to caster. The float's not moving at all. I'm just having to move the the bowl to the right to get tight on the rig. Right, switch to a caster. I don't really want to shorten this rig, but it's quite a long line there. They go straight on that caster, don't they? Okay, let's just go straight to worm. I didn't go over my side tray, but it's the sort of standard setup. I've got maggots, pinkies, worm, hemp. Need to put that in a pot for chop worm. I've got some dendrobinas. They're a bit older for chopping up, and I've got some newer ones for putting on the hook. See if there's something sitting below those bleak. It's going to take that piece of worm. Another bleak. And had the cheek to fall off. I've got some sweet corn, I guess, somewhere in the bag. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. So I'll pull downstream, just 'cause it's easier with the wind. I guess I'll nudge it along a little bit myself. It's not really what I want to do, but let's give it a go. I don't like it. So I seem to remember I had this last week where I had bleak on the long line, I came short and there wasn't any bleak there, so I'll give this another minute or so. If I don't catch a roach or a perch or chub or something on this piece of worm, then I'll try the short line. Okay, so why have my bud stopped? Piece of worm just looks a little bit tired. I noticed that when I was fishing at Clownfield last week, I got a much better response if I fished a fresh bit of worm every time. Same again there, but I think that's been attacked by the bleak. So it's actually going upstream. Okay. The bleak are just grabbing hold of the worm. I'm thinking about, should I quickly get a 2 gram rig out, set that up instead? Is that going to make a difference? But it's on the bottom, so they're having it. They're having it off the bottom. Just want to not be there, really. Alright, and one more sort of chuck and then let's try the short line. off that, try something different. Morning everyone, morning for a bit. That's same line, but I want a kind of short one, don't I? Same rig, I mean. Might be on that whip in a minute. Is this it? Is this the big? Is this the big bleak chance I was waiting for? Let's see.
Body's nice and relaxed, just needs the mind to follow now. Okay, you're in a good position. Don't let yourself drift too far in.
Oh. Just wish it wasn't so windy. The hawthorn to my right. I'm like, I'm going to be in that. Okay, I think there's a lot of bleak in this peg today. I've got to get better at this. I'll look at it like that. It's not quite right, but I'm okay with it like that. The last time, a couple of weeks ago, I think I was feeding way too much. Should have just been using the noise of the shots to attract the bleak. It's the bigger ones. I'll chuck some maggots in. Still going, same maggot. Really difficult to see the chat today. Yeah, leave the bleak to me. I'm the bleak master. I don't want those ones. I just don't know how to flick that out. I'll do it this way. Practice off camera. I'm going to hit myself in the head with it. This is definitely a little montage of catching bleak. Someone will ask me. Clearly lots here. Now I know to do any kind of weight I need to be bringing back a fish every single chuck because they're pretty hollow. But I said 3 or 4 pound will be a good weight off here today. And then I think I could have a few bleak in that weight. We'll just let those pole lines settle, you know. I don't need to panic about it. I can put some chop worm in. I can get the bait dropper out. You know, I can put some ground bait in with chop worm. I've got some options, you know. For the moment, let's do this. See if the bleak sort of move off of that ground bait. Ouch. And So if you're tuning in, you've never seen bleak fishing before. This is bleak is a particular type of fish. You get big shoals of them, and they live in the upper layers of the water, which is why I've got a relatively shallow rig. And they come to the noise. So what's happening is the shots are making the noise. It's drawing the bleak in, and bleak are fairly ravenous. Where other fish will turn their noses up at a maggot that's been chewed to bits and is just a skin, bleak are like, yeah, that's okay. So you can continue catching them on the same bait, which speeds up the process. As you can see, they're not very big, so they don't weigh a lot. You got to catch lots and lots of them. And during 5-hour matches, people are catching hundreds of bleak. So I don't think this is quite good enough, but I don't know the difference between it's not quite good enough and that skin of the maggot's a bit too much, a skin of a maggot. Yeah, I'm now catching them on, you can see I'm catching them on that. A bit tricky to see. That's all that's left. What happens is when you put your pole rig in, Olivet makes that plop and it draws the bleak to it. Now what you can do is you can fire some bait somewhere else to distract them, but I think what I'll do is I'll just leave them for a minute. Just enjoy catching these for a bit. Right, a couple more chucks and I'll conclude I need to change the maggot. Like a pellet waggler. Making the noise on the splash. trying to work out why sometimes I get a bite, sometimes I don't. What's causing the difference? See there, it went in quite lightly. Difficulty saying what I'm thinking. There, it's more of a splosh. Doesn't make a difference. Okay, maybe it did. Let's see if it's got to just go in a little bit harder when I put the bait in. Make more of a noise. I don't think that's it. That one there. A quick look here. Quick look here. That's a great look. I reckon that's plenty of skin for a bleak. Maybe need to feed. Let's try and count the fish before feeding then. 1, 2, 5. Just trying to work it out, you know, how many casts is too many without a bite? How many fish per feed? You know, what's just a rough idea. So that's 2 fish, and then a bite, and then a missed bite, and then nothing. In fact, it's probably not enough bait I'm putting in. Just been a bit conscious because of the wind. Okay, I think that's enough of that for a minute. Just can't underarm the bait where I want it. So another look on this short line. Let's go with a piece of worm. Good old perch. I've got to hold the pole to the left. It's too tricky to hold it to the right. It's too windy. Persevere though, I reckon. I think that's the thing to do today. Is persevere on the worm. There's a few of those perch in amongst the bleak. And I'll be alright. Right, how's everyone doing? Having a good day? I don't know what the time is. What's the time? Oh wow, nearly an hour gone. So just do an update coming up to 11 o'clock. So an hour into the match. After my initial ballings on the long and short line, I've got bleak all over the place. And they're willing to take double maggot, caster, worm, anything that I want to present. So I've come in, I've caught a few bleak on the whip, and then I've gone back out on the long line, and I've just had a perch, a couple of perch on the long line. I'm having to hold the pole downstream because of the wind. I think maybe what I'll do is if I shorten the line I could hold it upstream, but it's just too awkward. I'm just trying to work out how to do it. If I go upstream, I'm really fighting against the pole all the time. I don't think I'm presenting the rig very nicely. That's the issue. Maybe I just have to accept a shorter line, more of an energetic strike. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm trying to work it out, and I will work it out. Just the lack of flow is making me think I'm just prattling on. All the time I've got bleak attacking the worm. I think this is the last one, then I'm going to put a bigger piece of worm on. Maybe it encourages the perch a bit more. bigger worm on. Morning, Martin. I think I'm going to struggle for bream here. I'm not sure they're in this part of the peg. Just going to put a bigger piece of worm on. See if I can get myself a perch. See if that'll put the bleak off. The other thing I do, I could fish the other rig and lay on with an even bigger bit of worm. Let's not rule that out. These fellas are lively on this boat, aren't they? Talking about, I keep getting bites and I'm striking, there's nothing there. I think it's just bleak, just grabbing the worm. No, it's not flowing. Like maybe I could feed a load of bleak off with maggots, but I haven't got enough maggots. That's the only problem, to do that. If I had a few pints of maggots, I'd probably get the catapult out right now, because there's not a lot of flow. That's a serious piece of worm, you know. Right. What to do? Let's try this bigger bit of worm on a short line. See if it makes a difference. that roach, thank you very much. It's interesting. It's playing out quite similar to last time I was here. Just need a few of these bonus fish. Next time I bring it in, I'm going to shorten the rig as well. I just feel like it's too long, that line.
If we go off course, then there's likely to be trees. Yep. There's no...
Good stick, that. Right. Just going to shorten this line. Oh, that's annoying. I feel like a perch. Morning, Simon. Couple of perch and a bunch of bleak. But on a day where I think it's going to be like £3-4 down here to do really well, I'm okay with that as a start. Okay. I'm just thinking about putting some chopped worm in, in some ground bait. I'm just trying to decide the pros and cons of that or putting it in with a bait dropper. I think I prefer to put it in with the ground bait. Getting some bites there. Well, I think it is bleak. I can't chuck to that 4 metre whip line. I need a catapult. This is so many bites on that piece of worm. I think it's bleak. They're just ravenous today. Don't fall off. I didn't expect to catch that. I thought it was bleak. Maybe it's not. Maybe I need to have a quick look down here on double maggot. This explains why I missed a bunch of bites. The piece of worm's too big. I can't get it in the mouth. Fishing at the bottom of the shelf again, just as I was 2 weeks ago. It's the same, so it slopes down quite dramatically actually, because it's quite shallow and it's a steep slope, and then this is the bottom of the slope, and then it's all the way the same depth from here, 13 meters out, which is why I can use the same rig. So things will go down that slope. Food will congregate there. I expect fish to congregate there, but I'm just trying to work out for the moment, what am I fishing for? I think some chopped worm isn't going to hurt. The thing about it though is it was pretty short-lived when I did it the other week, so I don't want to put it on a line and not fish it. I want to put it in and fish it straight away. I think it's quite an instant impact. Let's just have a quick look on the long line. more tempted to fish this short line than the long line, just because it's difficult to see today. That wind and that ripple. It's really causing a problem. Nice bit of worm. What rig? The rig is a 013 to 09, a size 18 Karanu hook from Guru. I've got an Olivet and 2 droppers. And it's a 1.5 gram AS8 float from Drennan. So no bites at all then, which is unusual. So I've just put a new bit of worm on. Let's just see. There's a bit of flow on the river now. There's a lot of boat traffic, which means they're opening and closing the lock to my right. It is creating a bit of flow. Oh, they've opened the weir gates a little bit more. If it's really windy, it creates more white water. It's easier to see the float then. When it's wind slows, it's more difficult to hold the rig. When the wind slows, it's this more patchwork and it's really difficult to see. Sort of stuck between two evils here. Just trying to think if I've got any much heavier, thicker bristled floats in the box, and I don't think I have. Something I need to remember for the future. If it's going to be a bit windy and I look out there and there's a load of tree shadow and it's going to cause a problem, then put a float with a bigger bristle on to help visibility. Okay, so that line feels like nothing's going to happen now unless I put some more bait in. It's just sitting there, I'm not getting a bite. And we're starting to have another check. See, this one I can see a lot better. So I think if I top up, I'm going to top up here. And just top up one place for the moment, I think. I said I was going to put a double maggot on, didn't I? I've put a worm on again. Alright, let's have another run through with this worm. It's not really a run through, but let's see if I can get a bite on this worm. And then switch to a double maggot. What's the mate doing? Yes, Simon, but the only thing I'm going to catch on corn is a bream, and I don't think I'm going to catch any bream in this section of the river, really. You could catch roach, but the roach aren't really feeding. The only roach that wants to eat a piece of sweet corn is going to eat a double maggot or a caster. So it's just not effective, efficient. It was down the far end. I might put some on the hook today. I might try it out, but I'm fishing for perch. As he catches a little chublet. But I think quite a bit of my float's not settled properly. Bleak's got that. Cheek of it, dropped it. Don't listen to what Neil says about fishing on the Thames. He fishes for barbel. It's going to be completely different to what I'm doing. He's got to caveat that. He's got to say, I'm a specimen barbel angler and I use boilies. Okay, so the bleak's got that again. The float's just sitting above the where it should be sitting. I can just see a little bit of the black. So I think I'm going to be back out on the whip again for a minute. Because that short line I think is basically the same line as the whip. I'll check with the shadow of the tree in a minute. Could fish another section out. Another section out, I'd still be in the white water, so I'd still be able to see the float. It'll still be the same depth. Although I think I want to fish on that crease of the shelf. I've got to believe that there's fish patrol along that line. If you haven't seen it, the video I've put on my channel, I've had a few bleak, Ian, a couple of perch, one roach, but struggling through the bleak really. They're sort of preventing me from doing what I want to do. So yeah, a couple of weeks ago I was just further up and what was the point I was making there? Oh, I think I put a picture on of the bottom of the shelf. Oops. Right, let's have another quick look on that bleak. Right. Oh, those bleak are there. Strange that. Okay, I think it might just be sitting a little bit lower then. It definitely had that short line a couple of times. Right, time for some chuck worm in it. Put some caster with it as well. Make a little ball. Don't want a big one. You caught in. Right. So that chopped worm ball was probably half the size of the worm balls I was putting in the other week. I just want to see if it just means I can get bites and then keep them for longer. So I'm expecting a pretty instant response. The smell of all that worm to go in and it to draw perch and other fish either up the river or, you know, from the surrounding area pretty quick. A couple of weeks ago when I was putting it in, I was putting in a bigger ball, and I'm thinking, so just trying with a smaller ball and see if that does me better. Does me better? Works out better, I think. These fellas are having fun on their rental boat. Okay, kind of wanted a better response, considering I had a few bites down there on the worm anyway. I'll give it a minute and then I'll change it to double maggot and see if there's anything that wants that instead. Big's not moving at all. I'm holding the pole downstream and there's an upstream wind and it's enough to pretty much hold the float still against the little bit of flow there is, so it's hardly moving. If anything, it's going slightly upstream. Interestingly, Ian to my right, he's on the feeder and he said he's not caught, so I'm not too worried about not having the feeder out there, and there's a lot of boat and traffic on the river today, so I'm not sure I want to fish the feeder anyway. at this point of the video when I'll say thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying watching me catch a few fish today. And if you're a subscriber, then that's awesome. If you're not, then you probably want to consider hitting that subscribe button. You can find your way back for some more live fishing action across the Thames and a number of other venues that I fish in the near future. So it'll be feel great to see you again if it's your first time viewing. Right, can I get a bite on double maggot there and catch one perch? It is the same spot. Eventually, look.